This conference will now be recorded.
All right. I hereby call to order this meeting of the Sedalia City Council on the 17th day of June, part of the 2024-2025 session. The meeting is now called to order. The first item on the agenda is prayer, followed by pledge of allegiance. Chaplain Matson, you have the floor.
Would you please stand as able and join me in an invocation? Dear Lord and Father of us all, we come to you this evening to ask your guidance as the Sedalia City Council members, mayor, administrators, staff, ward representatives meet to hear about, discuss, and make decisions for the betterment of this city and its people. We are grateful for their service and dedication to us. We ask your protection for all of our first responders, police, sheriff, fire, and particularly tonight, 3 firefighters are being honored who are getting their badges as full-fledged firemen. Trent Flake, Tanner Crawford, and Adam Bazin. And there will be badge pinnings tonight, and they now join the fire department as full-fledged firefighters. We ask you to protect our ambulance drivers, our EMTs, hospital staffs, all who work 24/7 to serve and protect us, often at their own peril. We are grateful for the United States of America, our constitutional republic, for which thousands have fought and died to create and preserve for these 247 years. A debt can never be properly thanked nor repaid, lest we forget. We ask your blessing and protection for all of our military and civilians serving our country today, here and throughout the world, protecting our way of life, keeping us safe from threats from without, and sadly, threats from within. And now as we leave tonight, please protect us and our loved ones. Keep us from harm until we meet again. And all this we pray in the name of our risen Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Come on. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on our agenda is the badge pinning. You need to roll call.
Robinson. Here. Oldham.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
August.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Cross.
Here.
Foster.
Here.
Bliss.
Here. Okay, now we're going to move on to our badge pinning. For that, we'll invite up Chief Irwin.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody this evening?
Very good.
Good. This evening, we are going to be doing badge pinnings for 3 of our firefighters. These 3 firefighters are 3 of 6 that are still in their EMT program, but these 3 have already completed that. These 3 firefighters, when they first started with the Sedalia Fire Department, were thrown into the Fire 1 and 2 class. They were put into an expedited academy. Basically, they went through 6 months worth of class in basically 12 weeks. And this is the culmination of getting through that class, getting their EMTs, and then passing their probationary packets. I'm very proud of these 3 individuals. Mr. Flake, Mr. Crawford, and Mr. Bazin, would you come up with your pinners? Mr. Flake is being, put my glasses on, pinned by his grandmother, Roseanne. Mr. Crawford is being pinned by his grandmother, Carol Wilkinson. And Mr. Bazin is being pinned by his wife, Riley. Again, we have a pretty extensive packet that these individuals, every firefighter has to go through. Getting their badge this evening is the first step in their career with the Sedalia Fire Department. It is a stepping stone that I hope that they will launch them into their next career path as drivers and captains and future leaders of this department. Working with them and seeing them every couple days because of their shift change, they're pretty on the ball, and I'm very proud of them. So tonight I'm very proud of Mr. Blake. You get your helmet shield. Oh, I get that. You get to stand over there and get your badge. And you can pin those badges whenever you'd like. Please don't draw blood. Congratulations, firefighters.
Thank you, Chief Irwin. Next, we have the approval of our previous session minutes dated June 3rd, 2024. These are council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve?
Do I have any discussion regarding the approval? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Now I have acceptance of the Planning and Zoning Commission minutes dated March 6, 2024. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any council discussion regarding those minutes? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Now we have the roll call of our standing committees. Up first, we have Finance and Administration. Chairwoman Rogers, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have two items this evening. The first being our Finance Director, Ms. Powell, coming forward to update us on our major tax collection trends.
Yes, so we are looking at the second group of numbers, which is the fiscal year to date, and this is on April sales for net sales and use tax. Combined, that is up fiscal year to date of $411,720, or 9.3% over last fiscal year, and that is a budget variance to the positive of almost $235,000. The marijuana tax, you just see for FY25 because the same month last year we didn't have that tax. That was implemented at the stores in October of 2023. So there's no comparison there yet fiscal year to date. The franchise tax, it looks like it's down almost $460,000, and that is because last year in April we received a settlement from Charter in the amount of almost $378,000. The remaining difference there is due to lower gas tax received. Transportation tax is higher, and that is due to both gas tax and vehicle fees. So gas tax is higher 10.7%, and vehicle fees are higher 4.5%, and vehicle sales are flat. And then property tax payments, the majority of those are received in December and January of each year. Any questions?
Questions, Council? Thank you, Director Powell.
Our second item for tonight is an addition of Wood & Houston as a depository for the city of Sedalia. Wood & Houston Bank approached the city about placing some deposits with them, and the city does invest in certificates of deposit with various institutions to earn a return on cash reserves while maintaining Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation coverage as required by state statute and the city's investment policy. In these practices, the city does favor using local banks as they are able to be competitive with their rates. Wood & Houston has quoted a favorable rate for a CD, so staff recommends adding the local branch as an authorized depository.
All right, call the reading of the ordinance.
Bill number 2024-111. An ordinance authorizing the addition of Wood & Houston Bank as a depository institution, bank accounts, and investments owned by the city of Sedalia. Second reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the second reading of this bill. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Bill number 2024-111. An ordinance authorizing the addition of Wood & Houston Bank as a depository institution, bank accounts, and investments owned by the city of Sedalia.
Final passage.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the final passage of this bill. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, roll call, please.
Bogus.
Yes.
Miller. Yes. Crump.
Yes.
Foster.
Yes.
Bliss.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Oldham. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
All in favor.
And that ends our report.
All right, thank you, Chairwoman Bogus. Up next, we have Public Works. Chairman Miller, you have the floor.
Okay, I have three items tonight. First one is authorizing a change order number 1 for port excavating for storm drainage improvements in the project area 21, as presented in the strategic, I can't always talk today. Plan. We continue to work through the stormwater improvement master plan. We have been able to pick off a project or two each year as available funding has allowed. For this fiscal year, we were successful in securing a grant to accelerate the plan. Council approved contracts for 4 project areas in February and 4 more in May. During the construction of one of the projects, it was determined the size of the drop inlet needs to be increased. Staff recommends adding $7,480 to the contract for stormwater improvement area 21.
All right, call for the reading of the ordinance.
Bill number 2024-112, an ordinance approving and accepting change order number 1 for storm drainage improvements project area number 21.
Second reading?
I have a motion and a second for second reading. Do you have any council discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, motion passes.
Bill number 2024-112, an ordinance approving and accepting change order number 1 for storm drainage improvements project area number 21.
Final passage?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the final passage of this bill. Do you have any council discussion? Having heard none, roll call, please.
Hiller.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Foster.
Yes.
Bliss.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Oldham.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Pockett.
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion passes.
Okay, second item is approving and accepting the bid on 4 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 4x4 trucks for the water department and water pollution control. The only bid we got in was on WK. Bids were solicited and WK was the only bidder at $43,606 each, and that bid was under the government bid contracts we looked at for comparison. These trucks are replacing 99, 2000, 2005, and 2011 models of trucks with high mileage and in generally poor condition. Note that the reason for the delay in replacing these vehicles and now purchasing 4 at a time is due to the supply chain disruptions from the pandemic that are now easing so that we can get back on schedule. I believe in the past they replaced 2 like every other year. And I know with the pandemic, there was a short on the chips, and you know, there was storage lots full of trucks that they couldn't deliver because they didn't have the chips in the trucks. So, trying to get back on schedule and get our equipment back up to date where we're not spending needless money to keep our people working.
All right, with that, call for the reading of the ordinance.
Bill number 2024-113, an ordinance approving and accepting the bid for the purchase of 4 Chevrolet Silverado 4x4 trucks to be utilized by the water department and the water pollution control department.
Second reading?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the second reading of this bill. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, motion passes.
Bill number 2024-113, an ordinance approving and accepting the bid for the purchase of 4 Chevrolet Silverado 4x4 trucks to be utilized by the water department and water pollution control department.
Final passage?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the final passage of this bill. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, roll call, please.
Cross.
Yes.
Foster.
Yes.
Bliss.
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Oldham.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Pockett.
Yes.
Hiller.
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion passes.
The third item I have is authorizing agreement with the water main extension of Broadfoot Engineering LLC. And, it's 2 developments in the area of Highway HH and 65 are moving forward. Both of these developments require water and will eventually require sewer extended to them. They're on Broadfoot. PE has been working with the developers and has done the preliminary site plans as well as obtaining the topology survey work. Therefore, staff has worked with him to develop a proposal to engineer the water lines and delineate the necessary easements. Staff recommends approval of this, the agreement for design services.
All right, call for the reading of the ordinance.
Bill number 2024-114, an ordinance authorizing agreement for professional survey and civil engineering design and plan for the extension of water main.
Second reading?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the second reading of the ordinance. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes.
Bill number 2024-114, an ordinance authorizing an agreement for professional survey and civil engineering design and plan for the extension of water main.
Final passage. I have a motion and a second for the final passage of this bill. Do I have any council discussion? Having heard none, roll call, please.
Foster,
Yes.
Bliss,
Yes.
Robinson. Yes. Oldham. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
Bogus,
Yes.
Hiller. Yes. Strong.
Yes.
All in favor.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, Chairman Hiller. Next, we have, Public Safety, Chairman Robinson, you have the floor.
Thank you. Chief Owen has a presentation on the tornado side.
Am I missing the clicker?
I'm sorry. I'll click for you, just tell me when.
Good evening again. Tonight we'll be discussing tornado sirens. Trish Rhoda, our EMA director, and Bruce with Blue Valley, who is the producer and the gurus of keeping them running. This evening is here in case you have any questions that I can't answer. So first off, just a little few facts of the tornado sirens. They are designed to be heard outside, not inside. They have an effective range of about 1 mile, but it is that range has to take into account buildings, trees, topography, wind conditions. There are a number of things that affect the sound and range of the tornado sirens. We currently have 11 sirens deployed inside the city limits of Sedalia, with 3 additional sirens on the Missouri State Fairgrounds. So 14 in total. Again, the estimated range is about 1 mile, and we can travel further, but we use 1 mile as a safe radius for those tornado sirens. Clips. We test them the first Wednesday of every month. EMA tests them the first Wednesday of every month. June 5th, we completed a test with a number of consecutive bats. You may have heard about it. Through that testing, all sirens but one 32nd Kentucky failed to work. Bruce and them are working on that siren currently. Clicks. This is the cost of a siren. So the large sirens that go about a mile are about $35,000 per siren. And then the medium sirens are about $31,000. They only go about a half a mile, which I'll have some maps for you guys to look at here shortly. Go ahead. This is the current deployment. I already said that. I'm sorry, I repeated my slide. So this slide is going to be very hard to see. When the next one I get there, he jumped on me. Can we go back one? So these are the sirens that currently reside within the city limits of Sedalia, Walnut Hills, Hunters Ridge, Moncess Lake Estates, Maplewood, and all the subdivisions on all that. That's all those circles. So I took all of those circles and basically redesigned them on the next map so you could see basically what it covers just today. I omitted the state fairgrounds and everything outside of the city limits. And this is so you can get a better indication of the ranges of those sirens. So that's the 11 sirens. You can see on the next slide some of the areas that we found. Here are the areas that we found that on the edge are not covered by the tornado sirens. Go ahead. So the bottom right or bottom left is Cloverdale. The bottom is Smith Cotton High School. It actually falls just outside the edge of that siren. The top left is basically the water treatment plant on Main Street. The area kind of in the middle of the city center, that's actually almost fire headquarters, just so you know. And then we have the city center, which was previously covered by the Hubbard Park siren. You can see where all the circles kind of overlap. There's not really a lot of overlapping coverage in it. And then the far one on the right, out on East Boonville, even though that siren would not reside for a lot of city residents, and I'll show you the map on them. There is a trailer park that is out there that is completely uncovered, and I understand that those are not city residents, but they are just outside of our city limits. If we place the siren there, it would also cover northeast Sedalia, the airport, and a little bit of southeast Sedalia as well. We'll get on it. So the first map that I did, I took the small sirens. Go ahead. So the green dots indicate the smaller sirens, and then the 2 larger sirens down at the bottom if we were going to infill sirens. So basically to cover where we need to cover our gaps and where we're right at the edge. What we have found is that there are a lot of complaints from the community that they can't hear sirens. And that is simply because of topography, wind, storms, all of those things take into effect the effective range of the sound of those tornadoes. So by this map, if we would use the little sirens, we would need 7 total sirens to basically cover the city and fill in the gaps where we are right on the edge of a lot of our signs. So if we go to the next one, it shows it on the red with the infill basically with the current sign. If we wanted to go to the next one, if we wanted to use the large signs, we would only need 5 instead of 7, red. This is where I would recommend that we place them. Basically, one in Cloverdale, one at Smith Cotton, one at the wastewater treatment plant or in that area, one out somewhere near Hubbard Park on East Pacific, and then farther out on Boonville. Basically, that kind of a straight line over there. So if we go to the next one, it will fill. That's what the city would look like for tornado coverage. If you can see down in the city center, there's a lot of circles that kind of just come together, but there's not a whole lot of overlapping. The one in the city, which previously had been covered by the Hubbard Park sign when it was new, kind of uncovered it. They are technically still covered, but they're on the limiting range with buildings, trees, and everything else that goes with it. I would recommend there's a $4,000 difference between large signs and medium-sized signs. So rather than buying 7 signs, we just buy 5 and we save a few dollars that way, or we spend a couple extra dollars, but we wouldn't do it. So the question I brought up that came in, or I had, is that the bottom right, the Cloverdale sign, there is, if a large subdivision that is in the works that could possibly be coming, we could either move that sign to that subdivision once it's built, and if you hit the next one, you'll see where that tornado, that sign, that bottom green one moves. I jumped ahead. So you can see where it would move to be somewhere in that subdivision south and east. Still covers Cloverdale. The only other option that you would have is when that designer is building that subdivision out, that we possibly talk to them about putting in their own siren and then paying for that siren. If we go back to, so if we wanted to do it, it's a project of the 5 is about $175,000 to put in all 5 tornado sirens. I would recommend, if we don't want to do it all at one time, that we do it in 3 phases over 3 years. With the first one being Cloverdale and Smith Cotton, the second one being the northwest and north central locations of the city center, and then phase 2, the northeast siren out off of Boonville. This is your decision to make. I am just giving you the recommendations that I feel that if we were going to add sirens, this is what we do. Next one. And then this is where the subdivision comes through. Now, I know you guys have a lot of questions. That's why I brought Trish with me. Yeah, you can come on, add on if you'd like. So she has questions. Do you have questions about the tornado sirens and the sounding and the testing? That's why I brought Bruce from them. Bruce has also been working on the 32nd Kentucky sirens. But there you go. Come on up. Where'd she go? Where's she not coming? You said you had add-ons? Oh, she's got one little add-on if she still makes.
32nd Kentucky.
32nd Kentucky.
So I did talk to Joe Fisher last year to discuss the siren, that they needed to start thinking about that. They are aware that they should start thinking about that. And then also take into consideration when you're moving a siren, it is not cheap. So like we were talking about, just putting it into a pool for Smithton, and it was around $8,500. And so time taking off the equipment and putting it back on, so I would not recommend moving a siren. That's a lot of money just to move it.
That was going to be my question, because it looks like those top 3 green circles look about like we're only trying to cover a few square blocks. So you're saying it would not be more affordable to move a pole and a siren a couple hundred feet? I mean, I'm just asking for clarity, that's all.
$8,500, and that was from last year.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that's super.
I believe it was said that the sirens are built just to hear outside,
That is correct.
but we want to hear them on the inside.
You'll have to talk to Bruce. And Councilman Olin, if I may go back, I actually tried to move those circles to where they would cover and offset. And it is very hard to try to move. You would literally almost have to move almost all the sirens in town to try to get them. Because once you move one, you pull it from another, so you have to move them all, then you have to move them up and down. I really did try to do that. That's why, but I didn't. It just was a lot of work because then Blue Valley has to come in and move those sirens. Evergy has to come in and repower those sirens, and there's just a lot of work to get it done. That's why I just figured by infilling, and really the top three kind of go siren to siren, so you get more overlap, of the sirens, and I think that hearing it from two different directions would be better for our community members that are outside. And to be quite honest with you, a number of people could probably hear them from the inside of their house as well, but I'm not going to guarantee that. So, but that's the reason I went with this one.
Makes sense, thank you.
My question would be about the same as Bob's is. I understand that you want to be able to notify people that are outside, but let's look at the majority of times when a tornado is going to come in. Most of the time that's at night.
Right.
We're not outside. So me being in my house and not knowing that siren's going off, it's okay for me to get blown away because I didn't hear it inside. So what has to be done so that we can hear them inside?
So we always promote, my office we promote 3 different ways of communication. It's your NOAA weather radio. That's going to go off before your siren. Your NOAA weather radio,
If people can afford it.
It's around $35 from Walmart. Every year I do a grant through Walmart. I get around $1,000, and I do push those radios out for free to the community. We have the Nixle app that's free, and then there's the emergency Red Cross, like severe weather app. And there's a lot of really good apps out there for you to be inside your house.
And I totally understand the app, but when you're getting to 67, 70, 75, how many people actually know how to put an app on a phone that will go off?
I program at my office, and we help people when they come, anything to do for them to get their notifications. And Sedalia is a population around 23,000. There's a lot of other people, not specifically in Sedalia, that don't have sirens. And so that's why we always push out the 3 different ways of communication and situational awareness when storms are moving in.
Tricia, what was the app that you gave me a couple weeks ago?
It was this emergency Red Cross severe weather.
And there was another one though. Was it
FEMA?
FEMA app? Yeah, that one is really quick. That one is in the last couple of times.
And you can also set so it's before it's Sedalia. So if you want to know when it's in Johnson County.
I really like that one.
Or you can specify, I want to know, 10 miles. And then you get that much more warning, and you can also set it just for a warning, like you want to know specifically which warning, so it's not going off all the time. So that's stuff that we do free, and we promote it as much as we can. And when we get weather radios, they're gone very.
Do you have any more right now?
I don't. I think I just have like 1 or 2 left. And then they also, if you have anybody that's hearing impaired, they have pillow shakers, and there's some strobe light ones. So we get I try to write as many grants as I can to give that back to the community.
I know back 20 years ago when we all had landlines, it could be possible, for the company to ring, but then with all of the different cell phone companies now, it'd probably be impossible to get a hold of all of them to see if they would do that.
Right. And the newer phones have that automatic, like the Amber Alert.
Yeah, mine blows up every time anyway.
Well, I think that we need to look at individuals that are getting government phones. Government phones are not that high-tech type phones as we can buy. So we need to take in consideration, are those phones going to be able to do what you're saying as far as downloading those things? So we have to look at that as well. I myself, the 5 sirens, I think they need to go in, and they need to go in now, not 5 years from now, but now. I understand the amount of money that it's going to take, but now we're putting a price on somebody's life. Can't afford $175,000 this year, but maybe next year or the year after.
Just for information, are there any additional maintenance fees with the additional sirens going in?
You get a 2-year maintenance. Yeah.
This is Ricky from Blue Valley, the one that installed it.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'm Bruce Fisher with Blue Valley Public Safety. Sir, the new sirens, all the new sirens, everything's warranted for 2 years. The siren head, the part on top is warranted for 5. And then Blue Valley, we offer an annual service agreement if after those years the city would be interested in going into that. There was another question I was still sitting back there. Sir, as far as the outdoor warning, yes, Federal Signal engineers and designs these for outdoor warning. The sirens that you're referring to produce 130 decibels at 100 feet. They have a range, and so any siren person you have come up here, the range is based upon the FEMA standard, which is what they call it the average person. The average person can hear outside at 70 decibels. So these sirens that the chief is referring to have a range of 6,500 feet at 70 decibels. So, but as the chief was saying, we at Blue Valley would kind of lead toward the side of conservative as far as the range because of the ambient noise that's going to be going on during the storm itself. So we draw the circles at about 5,000 feet. But they cover more than that by the standard and by how they're built. I don't know if that answers your question, sir. I don't know. But they are designed, engineered for outdoor warning. Not to say if you live across the street from one, you're not going to hear it in your home or in your business. But they are designed for outdoor warning. I hope that answers everyone's.
So can you give kind of an estimate on how far away you'd have to be and still be able to hear it?
I mean, I've been in council meetings all over 2 states, and there's always someone who says, well, I live 3 miles outside of town, I can hear the siren. Well, they probably can, but they're not hearing it at 70 decibels. And maybe they're hearing it on a test day when things are relatively quiet in the area.
Hearing it indoors.
Oh, hearing it indoors?
So is it 1,000 feet?
Yeah, I don't know if we really have an estimate on that, sir. I'm sorry. It's just, so think about it. I mean, our homes these days are good construction, good windows, good doors, all that time. We got the air conditioner going on, we got the TV going on, how well do we hear it inside? You very well may, especially if you're close to the siren. I hope that answers. I'm going to try to dodge it. I just don't know. Everyone's home is different.
Bruce, do you have a timeline on when we're going to get the siren at 32nd and Kentucky?
When you said, I'm the sales guy, but my text, I can certainly get that answer for you about that siren.
Absolutely. That's our ward, so we
Sure.
definitely want to be sure that that's taken care of.
I can get that answer to Trish or the chief.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything further, council?
And if I could say one thing, the new Smith Cotton was not around when we put the system in before, so that's kind of why I am all 100% for putting them close to schools and parks. I would have plugged one there, but Smith Cotton wasn't there yet.
All right.
My other question would be, I guess, to Trish. Can you tell me why the siren was taken out of Hubbard Park?
In 2018, we met with Calvin, and I think Bruce was there, and we went through different locations because we were short some other places. You guys bought a new siren. It went in front of council in 2008. Because we didn't have any coverage on the west side of town. Like if you were outside, you couldn't hear a siren like at Menards.
Okay, so you said the new siren sign that you had went out by Kohl's. I'm asking what happened to the one at Hubbard? Where did it go?
One went to Newport and one went to Kohl's.
Yeah, basically, as I recall, the bubbles were reevaluated, and it was slid out a little bit to make more coverage. And then that way we only had to buy one new one to get more of the city coverage.
And there was a big portion on the west side that they were not hearing a siren at all.
If I remember correctly, the siren was taken from Hubbard Park and moved up to Newport. There was a siren down off 12th Street, 12th and Marshall that was moved out to Air Park Circle. There was another siren that was moved out to across from the cemetery on Engineer, and then the siren was placed at Newport. Those were the three move and one addition, I believe, is what when it was decided with Chief Harrell and administration. That was done.
Any other questions?
All right, just going on record, I want that siren back in Hubbard Park. However we could do it. I personally, with my folks that live in that area, want that siren back in Hubbard Park.
Okay. Staff has laid out a couple different directions here. One is a, all at once, and one is a phased implementation. Would council like to make a motion regarding?
I would motion to phase with the 2 south sirens this year and the 3 northern sirens next year. That is the motion? 3 years. Is it, it's 3 years?
Calvin, how does it affect the budget if we do them all at once? Do we have the wiggle room in the budget to do them all at once? Or what do you suggest with that? This is your expertise area, so we need your guidance here.
You have sufficient reserves that you could do it all this year. It just means less money that you would have to replace those reserves in the years. So you could overspend this year because you have sufficient. And if you were wanting to do all 5 sirens, I would make that recommendation just to go ahead and do it all at once.
Okay.
Because whether you spend the money this year or next year, like I said, it's essentially coming out of reserves.
Need a motion?
Well, so we have a motion on the floor regarding phased implementation.
I'll withdraw. I'll withdraw my.
Okay, that motion has been withdrawn.
I'd like to make a motion to do all 5 at once, please.
Okay, I have a motion to do all 5 at once. I have a second. Any council discussion regarding that?
And when they do the work, I'd like to see the north side done first.
Okay. Any other council discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we will get that done and bring it back to you via, I imagine, the budget amendment or not. Very good. All right, well, moving along. Now we've got, liquor licenses, call for the reading of liquor licenses.
We have 1 new license and 3 renewals tonight. New license for Gloria Ayala doing business at Don Jose Mexican at 111 South Grand for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales. And renewals for Christina Sherman doing business at Jiffy Stop Food Mart, number 591, 1722 West Broadway for packaged liquor and Sunday sales. Lindsay Falo doing business as Applebee's Neighborhood Bar and Grill at 3320 West Broadway for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales. And Larry R. Gaffriel doing business at the Cooney Japanese Steakhouse at 2401 West Broadway for liquor by the drink and Sunday sales.
Motion to approve in block.
Second. A motion and a second to approve in block. Do I have any council discussion regarding these liquor licenses? Having heard none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Now we have any miscellaneous items from the city council or city administrator.
Your Honor, I'd like to take this time to invite those who would like to attend a meeting regarding tiny houses on next Wednesday, the 26th, here at City Hall at 6:30 p.m. At the present time, lot sizes that are in code hinder the building of these type homes. With approval from the public, approval from that ward, because that's where we're, second ward, which is where we're looking at, we can move forward and we can build houses there. And I have always been a strong advocate of adding houses, you know, despite what some might say. Since my first year, that's what I've said. We need housing in Sedalia. How do we get it? Where do we go? This is one of the first steps. And so I'd invite anybody that would like to come to that meeting on the 26th of June at 6:30 here at City Hall, and let us hear from you.
Very good. Anyone else?
I do. I just want to say, there's an organization out there called the Helping Hands. I'm a member of the West Central Missouri Vintage Auto Club, and I brought it forward to them, and they're in the process to get somebody there at our next meeting. I kind of took Councilman Odom's, what he said in the heart, and anyway, we're actually going to donate money to buy materials or set up an account at Lowe's to buy materials. That's money we raised up at that car show to help the Helping Hands. So anyway, just want to kind of let everybody know that that's in the process.
Very good. Anyone else?
Tom, the day of service, you want to talk about that, Tom?
Oh, I have that too. That's
Okay, why don't you, what you want to go?
Yeah, okay, so June 22nd is the annual Day of Action with United Way. So there's going to be several projects around the county that United Way has put together, and then I think for the third or fourth year in a row, I've kind of spearheaded the city's involvement with the neighborhood cleanup. And so it's going to be centered around Katie Park, and around that area, 4 or 5 square blocks, we'll do a neighborhood cleanup. So we're going to have several people out there in that community. So if you're in that community or you have friends in that community, let them know that we'll be in there to clean up and take care of small projects.
Well, can I add a little bit? So 7 o'clock we meet. We can park at Katy Park Baptist Church, that area basically to the south or west, south of Katy Park, and I think we're going to start at the shelters there pretty close. And there's also parking, you can park along Grand, you can park if you're going, there's a small lot around the water department's well, and then we can also park at the lumberyard at Mid-City. So there's like 200 people apparently coming to this early in the morning, and then they're going to go out and work, and then we're going to come back around lunchtime. So we think we have plenty of parking, but we do have permission from the church and from the lumberyard for sure. The concrete plant's okay at this point in time unless they get a large project going on Saturday morning. But I think if you just concentrate on the church and the little parking lots over there in the church and along Grand, there in the park, we should be okay.
Very good. Anything else?
Yeah. First, I want to apologize for dipping out halfway through last week's council meeting. I had family matters to attend, putting Meyer down between each vote, and she was fed up with that. So I apologize for that. But because of me having to drop out, I wasn't able to cast a vote on a serious issue. And it was the recommendation from the Public Safety Committee about the 2-station model. So I've been an advocate for a 3-station model now for several years. And because of that, I just want to touch on that topic. In 2020, the public came together and created a comprehensive plan. That plan shows the possible growth of the city, showing residential growth in the south and industrial growth in the north. Currently, with our 2-station model, we are unable to make the call time necessary within our current city limits by at least 2 minutes. With the growth that was predicted coming to pass, those call times will be 5 minutes past those necessary call times. Going back 1 year, and this is the thing that I wanted to bring up, in 2019, SGR did a feasibility study on the Sedalia Fire Department. Now, I think at the time there's only 3 of us currently on the council, and it was myself, Bob Cross, and Mayor Dawson was 2nd Ward at the time. It showed a couple things. It showed, one, that a 2-station model is not working and will not work for the city of Sedalia. And 2, if we do not have a 3-station model with the growth of the city, our ISO rating will be in jeopardy. Now, I bring up the ISO rating because the council believes that the importance of the ISO rating and how it plays a factor with our citizens. So the study shows that building codes do play a factor, albeit it shows that it plays a small factor with it. What it also shows is that what plays a majority of the factor in the ISO rating is the placement of our fire stations, up to 50% of that ISO rating. So I'm just pressed to believe that if council has a concern with the ISO rating through the building code discussion, this council would have a deeper concern of the ISO rating since our station's placement plays a much larger role. I will also say that this study tells us that even if we were to rebuild the central station where it's at, it would still place our ISO rating in jeopardy. Lastly, when it comes to affordability, because that was the main driving factor for the two-station model, I don't believe we can take that decision away from the public. They see the need and are asking us to move forward in that direction. And if a tax is that route, the public can make that decision. They overwhelmingly approved the tax for the Pettis County Sheriff's Department, and they overwhelmingly approved the tax for the Deckard Community Center building. And I have a feeling that there's a group of men and a woman who will put the effort in to inform the public about the need and the value of a three-station model. So I will not ask for a motion to reconsider that recommendation tonight. I want to make sure that the council has this study available for them. So I've asked Chief if he had a digital copy so he can look for that, but he's going to take this to scan and distribute it to council. For those who weren't on the council at the time, you'll have the ability to read this feasibility study that was created. I will say, however, next council meeting, I will be asking for the motion of reconsideration, just so you have all of this information. So that's all I wanted to state.
All right. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? All right. See, we will go ahead and move along to the good and welfare section. So before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone of the framework for this segment. The speakers requested to step forward, clearly state their name, address, will be allotted 3 minutes to present their statement. Please note this is not a session for dialogue or debate with the council, nor is it a period for questions and answers. It's a time for you to make your voice heard and for us to listen, and for your statements to be entered into the public record. We ask that all remarks be kept respectful and pertinent to meeting ethics. So now we'll go ahead and open this up. Anybody who'd like to, go ahead and step forward. You'll be given 3 minutes.
My name is Gary Lovebaugh. I live at 821 South Arlington Avenue, Sedalia, Missouri. I just have a request. When we're having a financial report, that's what showed on the screen is hard to read. Is there any way we could get that, a copy of that and attached to the agenda when we're doing that? It would make it easier for me to read. I can't see that far. With binoculars, I probably couldn't see that far. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Come on up.
Renee Vance, 19813 Tanglenuck. I just wanted to thank the City Council for your sponsorship for our gala. It was a nice success. We really enjoyed it, and excellent job, but we really did appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Going once, going twice? All right. We have one more. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Ilona Vargas Reed, 802 North Missouri Avenue, and I just want to thank the City Council, the Police Department, and the Fire Department for coming out to our Juneteenth celebration this past Saturday. We didn't have as many people as we thought, but there were a lot of different activities going on that particular day, but we really, really appreciate the fact that you were there and that you supported our efforts. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? All right, now I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and move to closed session.
Motion moves to close our session for legal advice, real estate, personnel, and negotiated contracts.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
August?
Yes.
Hiller?
Yes.
Ross? Yes. Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
This conference will now be recorded.
I'm not going all the way around. I'm staying in the front.
You need to stay out here if you want.
Okay, right here about the microphone.
Here you go.
Thanks.
Did they not offer you that little one-legged?
Such a caddy. Hey, caddy, come up here and get the pop, or the Cokes, or whatever. TDR. I don't know why people go around and watch the journey.
Oh.
All right, isn't that right? No, you've got an ordinance. Yeah, you can't just leave.
Go ahead and make the motion.
Wait. Go turn on the recorder.
Is it recording?
No.
Okay, do I have a motion and a second to, return to open the open meeting?
Motion to open session.
Second. Roll call, please.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Hiller?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
Okay, we have one ordinance to authorize an access agreement and amendment to purchase and sale agreement by and between the City of Sedalia, Missouri and K-Mac Enterprises, Inc. I will now call for the reading of Bill 2024-116.
Bill number 2024-116, an ordinance authorizing an access agreement and amendment to purchase and sale agreement by and between the City of Sedalia, Missouri and K-Mac Enterprises Incorporated.
Second reading?
Second.
Second. I have a motion and a second for the second reading of this ordinance. Do you have any council discussion regarding the bill? Having heard none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Bill number 2024-116, an ordinance authorizing an access agreement and amendment to purchase and sale agreement by and between the City of Sedalia, Missouri and K-Mac Enterprises Incorporated.
Final passage?
Second.
I have a motion and a second regarding the final passage of this bill. Do you have any council discussion? Having heard none, roll call, please.
Robinson?
Yes.
Oldham?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Bogus?
Yes.
Hiller?
Yes.
Cross?
Yes.
Foster?
Yes.
Bliss?
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion passes. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. I have a motion and a second. Do you have any council discussion regarding the adjournment of the meeting? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.